I'm Terry, and I would like to talk to you today about what happens when someone that you love and care for a lot dies, that they're no longer with you, that you can see them. They are still with you, it's just in a different way. But for you, as you go through that process of the loss of having them there, it can be quite difficult, can't it? I'd like to share that it's okay to be sad. It's okay to be confused. It's okay, whatever you are feeling as you remember that person who is no longer there for you to touch, to hug, to go to for answers. You no longer are able to see them, but just know that they are still around, that they still can hear you. And that can be kind of confusing, can't it? When you can't see their physical body, but you still know that you're connected. You still know that they are listening to you. So during your moments of grief, when you're crying, when you're really sad, when you're just wanting to see them again, to hold them, hold their hand, to have them speak to you and say, I'm right here. What is it that you need? Just know they're still doing that, just in a different way. You know that you're able to go to the angels at any time, but maybe you can't see them always. It's the same with your loved one who has passed away, the loved one who was there and now they no longer are physically there. They can hear you, they can talk back to you, they can show you things, they can show you signs that they are hearing you and they're working with you for you to work through that time of grief. So maybe you don't understand what grief means. What is that? Grief is a time for us humans to express our sadness, sometimes our anger, our confusion. Sometimes we deny that the person is gone and they're not coming back. That's what grief is. It's a time for us to work through all those emotions, all those questions that come up when we lose a loved one, when they're no longer there. We always ask, well, why? Where did they go? Why can't they come back? Why can't they be with me again? And for many, you may be thinking in that way that this was just temporary, they'll be back. And we get that idea and that thought when there's like a program on TV and the person dies and then they come back to life, or maybe they didn't die at all, but they just weren't there and then they reappear. So we get the feeling and the idea that it's not a permanent thing when somebody dies, but it is a permanent thing for their human body. These bodies are not meant to last forever. They all are going to have a time when we're ready to leave them behind. We are ready to move on to whatever our next adventure is and our next time as a human being in a different body has served its purpose. So as we get older and we see that we've led a good life, we've had experiences that helped us through whatever it was that we were here to do on this earth, and then it's time to move on. That's what death is. It's a moving on, a moving past the limits of the body. Just think of how unlimited the angels are, how unlimited those our loved ones that are in spirit, they're so unlimited that they can be with you to help you. And at the same time, they can be with another loved one. They don't have to be just in one place. They can be with many and minister in whatever way that looks like, with a kind touch on your shoulder. Maybe it's a little kiss on your cheek before you go to sleep at night. Or maybe it's just a word that they whisper in your ear for guidance to help you know that you're not alone. You're not alone. They're right there with you. And there's nothing scary or nothing to be afraid of with having your loved ones show up. It's a beautiful thing, actually. They're able to help you, to guide you through that time of confusion, through that time of sadness. And they want you to know that whatever you're feeling is okay. It's okay if you want to say, right now, I'm just feeling very sad. Just be with that emotion. Just feel it, honor it, and tell yourself, it's okay for me to be sad. It's okay for me to miss my grandma or my friend or my parent. That's okay. It's a human expression of what I'm feeling. And there is nothing wrong with that. It's okay to express some anger. Maybe you're mad because that person left. And maybe they left without you being able to say goodbye to them. Sometimes when a loved one is taken very quickly, we don't get the chance to say goodbye. And that can be very hurtful because we want that opportunity to let our loved one know that we love them and that we care about them and we don't want them to leave us. So if you're experiencing some anger, just say it's okay for me to have this anger. It's okay for me to be confused and to be upset because my loved one left. And then just honor that. Just go into the being okay with whatever it is you're feeling. You're not judged for it. You are perfectly in your right to feel whatever you feel. The important thing is to do it in a healthy way. If you're feeling angry, talk about that. Find a loved one that will listen to you, or maybe even a teacher or a counselor that can just sit and not judge you and hear what you have to say and to let you know that it's normal for you to feel those feelings. There is nothing wrong with you. This is a natural part of the grieving process, a natural part of missing that loved one. So if you're angry at them, just state that. Just say, I'm really angry that they left without saying goodbye, and it hurt my feelings. And then forgive them. Forgive them. Forgive yourself. Forgive the fact that they're gone. And when you forgive, it opens up a space inside of you for more love to come in. And when that love comes in, then you know that that loved one didn't do anything to hurt you on purpose. There was no reason that they didn't come to tell you goodbye. And maybe if you just open up enough to accept that and to love them unconditionally, you will hear them. You will hear their words as they say to you, I'm right here. I'm still with you, and I love you so much. Just allow that. Allow your loved one to come to you. Allow them to show you that they are still very much a part of your life, that they very much care about how you're feeling and how you're handling the loss of them being there with you. There is nothing wrong with you. There is nothing wrong with how you're feeling. But do it in a healthy way. Don't hold it all inside. Always express what you're feeling, but don't do it out of anger. Do it with respect and just state, I'm feeling this right now. And if you don't have an outlet for that anger or that sadness, I encourage you to take a piece of paper and just write, or a crayon and draw, or paint. Find some way that you can express how you're feeling and send a message to your loved one, letting them know that you're okay now. You're dealing with it. You're handling your grief. And grief has no time frame. Ever how long it lasts, that's how long it lasts. Whatever it takes for you to really know in your heart that it's okay. And it may be years. There may be a whole period as you're growing that you're still missing that person very much. With each passing moment, just feel into their energy. Just see them right there with you. And close your eyes and remember what they looked like. Remember the sound of their voice, or their warm hug, or their touch on your hand or your cheek. The more you can remember them, you are honoring them. And the more you honor them, the closer you will be to actually feeling them still with you. Anytime that you need help, anytime that you have questions, find a loved one to talk to. Ask the question, can I talk to you right now? Can I ask you about my loved one that's no longer here? And listen to stories about your loved one. Listen to what their life was like and what was going on with them, and that created that time when it was their time to leave their body. The more you ask, the more you understand. And the more you understand, the more you open up to love. And love is all there is. So stay in your heart, go into that heart place inside, and ask to connect with your loved one. Ask them to be right there beside of you, to tuck you into bed at night, to give you a goodnight kiss, and to whisper a word of love to you. So much love